Bat Force Radio.
Bat Force Radio is rated M for mature. Or should that be immature?
Hey guys, Dustin Nguyen.
Hey, this is Scott Snyder.
This is Paul Dini.
And you're listening to Bat Force Radio.
And you're listening to Bat Force Radio.
You're listening to Bat Force Radio.
This is Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman, and you're listening to Bat Force Radio, so stay tuned.
Welcome back to Bat Force Radio, the DC Batman podcast with no limits. Happy New Year, everybody. This is our first episode back since the new year. We're going to go around. We have Louis Bitch, a.k.a. Grandpa Batman, over in Dallas, Texas.
Iron Man sucks.
We got Robin Cross over in Canada.
Evening, or whenever you're listening.
I am Bat Force Tom in California. It is on fire. There is looting. There is home invasions, but I'm fine. I'm doing all right.
And the tsunami.
Oh, yeah. The Earth took a big fart out in the ocean, I think. I saw that. And
did you see the video of it? Like the satellite video?
Yeah, I saw satellite video, but that's insane how massive that thing is. And in the middle of nowhere, too,
That's
thankfully.
What she
said. We wanted to start by, of course, we just mentioned Happy New Year. Usually when things come up, news or rumors that are more negative, we try to stay on the positive, especially when they're about us. We don't like to feed into them, but I feel like we have to address something that's been going around. Yes, there are a group of about almost 300 doctors that are signing a petition to get us pulled off the air. They believe that we have been spreading false information. We are aware of that. We are not going to back down. We are going to continue to press forward.
Why are your in-laws doing that?
Well, they've always had it in for them.
Like I said, we just want to forge ahead, start fresh, keep on keeping on. But yeah, so in similar news, rumors, right? So we wanted to jump on because there's been a lot of DC universe, DC extended universe, whatever you want to call it, the motion picture universe. There's been a lot of stuff already popping off this at the beginning of the year. Depending upon, if you like Zack Snyder, you are not happy. If you despise Zack Snyder's vision, you are happy and I guess just hopeful and optimistic. But let's get started.
If you're a casual viewer that doesn't really pick a side, you're most likely just confused.
Yeah.
Because there were the Zack Snyder movies, and then there was the Joss Whedon Justice League, and then Zack Snyder came back, and there was his Justice League again. Now that's all gone, and there's going to be new shit. So,
and the Matt Reeves stuff that has nothing to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to bring this up. This is a tweet that kind of set off the firestorm, and apparently it is also something that has been corroborated by quote unquote other leakers. I don't know what that means, like other people who are on the inside or have a source. But Gramps, you want to read that for us and who it's by?
I can't read.
I hate to put you on the spot.
Oh. As I've told you, with update, the Flash Batfleck's final appearance. We knew that. Old footage of Cavill used on TV. Okay. New Justice League formed. Supergirl is the new Superman. Keaton working with Black Canary. Picks Batgirl as new Batman. This is the new DC. Let's be open-minded and give it a fair shot.
Yeah, and then there's a tweet right below that among the chain. It says the Keaton, Black Canary, Batgirl stuff obviously happens in her movie, referring to Batgirl to clarify. And this is from her name is Grace Randolph. If you are not familiar with her, she is one of those. She's just kind of like a talking head, YouTube, Twitter. She's not like she has no real. She has some connections. There are people who I guess know her who work in the industry, but it's not like she's a Hollywood reporter. It's not like she's a New York Times. It's not. She's been wrong many times. So this is just a big rumor that has been circulating amongst I guess people in the know. So we want to start by saying, again, this is a rumor. However, it's a rumor that a lot of people apparently in the industry are circulating. So there might be some truth to it, meaning that to break it down. after the Flash, it is going to be a completely different DC universe on screen with different characters and different individuals. Nothing that we were used to. It's not going to be Snyder's universe at all. So yeah, if it's true, it's a massive change and departure. So with that,
Big risk.
yeah. Well, look, why don't you guys give your thoughts about let's pretend and let's say that this is true and that these rumors have some truth to them. Do you think, like, what are your guys' general thoughts in general about that?
I would go first. Yeah.
Everything ends. Everyone gets recast and replaced. You know, we've been around long enough to see this happen before. Do I wish that we got more time with the last set of characters? Yeah, but am I gonna be horribly upset that this could potentially happen? That we'll see a new take on the Justice League with the different iterations of characters, Supergirl instead of Superman, and everything. No, let's see how it goes.
Gramps,
and then
your
after
thoughts?
that, there'll be something else. They'll do that for a while, and there'll be something new.
Yep. The thing that makes me, well, man, first of all, if this is all true, they're taking a big step away. They're purposely pivoting away from Snyder. And, man, the way that you look back the last couple of years, these rumors don't seem like they're that far off because of what we've seen as far as what one of those DC executives said in the press, where the Snyder cut was just like that's just its own self-contained thing that's not going to go anywhere. And then hearing the rumors of casting and seeing story things here and there that are actually legitimate, it doesn't surprise me that if this is true, that they're cutting out pretty much a big chunk of what Snyder kind of created because they want to do something new and fresh. And with the success of The Suicide Squad, made a lot of money. The success of Aquaman, those are both very different and lighter in tone and brighter. And that's probably kind of maybe what they're looking to score towards. And I'm just sad because, well, Gramps, you go ahead. You give your thoughts.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a big risk. I mean, you're essentially, ostracizing or dividing a fan base and taking away two of the marquee characters out of the DC film universe. Now you're replacing them with, two very strong lead roles, but I don't think that a lot of the fans have the same history with those characters. I don't know. If Batman v Superman was such a failure and it still made $1 billion, you're now going to go in a 180-degree direction and still expect to surpass that with characters that don't have as strong, ties with, let's just be honest. I don't think those, Supergirl or Batgirl were even that well sold that well in the comics. So how are they going to sell in the movies? And I mean, there's never a direct correlation with that, but that, kind of is the temperature mark for me as far as the popularity of a character. How is it going to come across, on screen? Now, there are always exceptions to that. Shang-Chi was a very good example of that recently. That was an amazing movie. And I think it didn't do that well at the box office. But at the same time,
so
it wasn't
it's
really
funny though. Successful doesn't always mean good, and
Right.
good doesn't always mean successful.
Exactly. And I hope that, the product that they put out is just a good product,
Mhm.
As you can see during, these times, a lot of movies, go straight to HBO Max in the first place anyway. So box office numbers really don't, it's really hard to gauge, the success of a movie on box office these days anyway. But they need to have good product that creates a good story that keeps this DC universe cohesive and ongoing to create the next movies. Because if this is not strong, if it's the same as like a Birds of Prey, it's not going to last.
Yeah, it's also something they're choosing to also kind of like what you mentioned. I think that might be calculated because this Batgirl movie, they've been trying to get off the ground even before Joss Whedon's Justice League came out, because that's what the next project was that they were going to give to him, was the Batgirl movie. So they've been wanting to do it since, like, what is that, 2015, 2016? I forget when that was. No,
Yeah, it's been some time.
Yeah. So they've been.
It must have been during or right after Justice League shooting,
right
before he separated from them, but around the time that he was already taken over League.
Yeah, I think they might have been wanting to kind of do what I think they recognize, okay, this is a gamble. So what is something that we can use that if it sucks, it's okay, we can recast, or like it's not a marquee character. Like kind of what Marvel did with Iron Man. Like Iron Man wasn't necessarily like the biggest named Marvel character, but they got a crazy big A-list celebrity to play him, and it just was a home run and the basic backbone of the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe. So I think DC is trying to play with that. It's like, okay, what young actor can we give this role to that we can maybe build something off of? And they're doing it twice with Batman and with Superman, with Batgirl and then Supergirl. Dude, like, so yeah, we are, and I don't want to speak for the whole group, but we have done things that we can't legally speak of in the name of Zaddy. We are Snyder toxic fanboys that
international waters, though. So
we have had our instances where we've come to fisticuffs and threats, but I think we've also been very open to change and differences. It's what, we never really like throw too much of our eggs in one basket. But damn, I mean, look at how good Ben Affleck looks as Batman. I mean, just take Snyder's storytelling away, whatever you think about his storytelling, you cannot deny how good Ben Affleck looked in The Cape and the Cowl. Like, he's just spot on. That's Bruce Wayne, man. And I remember, I don't know about you guys, watching the movie, I remember thinking when I'm watching the movie, maybe it was the voice changer that was even smarter, but I'm like, dude, I'm watching Batman. Like, he's melting into Batman. When he was in the cowl specifically, like, I would be like, dude, that's Batman. It's not even Ben Affleck anymore. And then, our savior, Henry Cavill, choosing to not continue on with him as Superman. Again, put aside the movies that he was in. I know a lot of people don't think that he didn't portray the Superman that they wanted. It was very dark. It was very different. But I think that there's a majority of fans, even though they didn't like Man of Steel or BVS, I think a majority of people still think they'd like to see him try again in a different Superman movie.
Yeah, and part of that was the character arc, right? We saw him in Man of Steel. He was becoming Superman. He wasn't the version of the character that people know from the Reeves movies or from the animated stuff, the comics, where he's been Superman for years and he's established, he's figured out who he is and what he wants. We were seeing him at the beginning. That was the Superman year one. And him figuring out who he wanted to be. And then we saw that progressing through Justice League. And if you got another movie, I think that would have been where we saw him established and have become who he wanted to be. And that would have been, I think, a lot more in line with where people wanted to see the character.
Yeah, that's kind of the issue I think that Warner Brothers had with Snyder, is that Snyder really wanted to treat these movies like graphic novels on screen, where they are kind of like they're self-contained Elseworld, but they can connect into a bigger story. So he wanted each film to be like a graphic novel, which takes time. Movies take years to produce, whereas comic fans get books once a month, so it's not that big a deal. And he kind of seemed to do that. And the studio was like, dude, what are you doing? We need to sell boxers now. We need to sell toys now. Like, we need to, you know what I mean? We need to bank off these kids. We don't have time to do something interesting. We don't have time to do something. And everyone's like, oh, he's an edgelord. Dude, edgelord is fucking cool sometimes. I think we like some of the stuff that he chose to do because it was so different and refreshing for us. You know, we're like 65, 70 years old. So we've seen a lot of the same thing over and over again. So it's nice to see something fresh, you know, that these young cats are choosing to do. But I have something I want to go ahead.
And I was just gonna say, yeah, same thing. I do love the Snyder stuff. I love BVS. Like that's still if I'm going to go back and rewatch any superhero movie, it's 85% chance it's gonna be that one over anything else.
Yeah. I want to posit something to you guys, and I know I was joking about conspiracy theory, but I really think this is worth exploring because...
Is this where we talk about Department of Truth?
Oh, dude. I mean, I'm always down to talk about that. By the way, I was reading the sidebar. I was reading the description of the next couple of issues. Is it the one that was out this week that is L. Ron Hubbard and Jack Parsons? Is that this week or is it the next one coming out?
That's next. This week's issue is Mothman.
Oh my god, dude! See, that's what I'm talking about. Is it's just basically every awesome conspiracy or every awesome cryptid. That's what it's going to cover, and I love it. And the reason I talk about, go ahead.
I was going to say, if you know what book is coming out at the perfect time, there's a book coming out from Boom Studios. I just read next week's issue today. It's called Regarding the Matter of Oswald's Body. So it's coming out the perfect time, you know, just aligning with Department of Truth and, you know, the inclusion of Lee Harvey Oswald in that and everything.
Wow.
So,
okay.
Regarding the Matter of Oswald's Body, it takes place like minutes after the JFK assassination. And then this group of, you know, lovable losers are recruited by this mysterious guy who may be CIA or FBI or something. And they're basically hired to replace the body of Lee Harvey Oswald with a dead guy. And it's just the adventure of all that happening.
And this is unrelated to Department of Truth?
Yeah, unrelated.
Wow.
Yeah, this one's from Boom Studios, whereas Department is Image. But I don't know if it was just that Department really whetted my appetite for that, but that's a really fun story too.
Oh yeah, man. Let me see if I can figure out how to do this. How do I do this? Here we go. So if you guys, I'm holding up, for those who cannot see, I'm holding up a book that's called Sex and Rockets, The Occult World of Jack Parsons. One of the books I read last year. And the reason why that new issue of Department of Truth really wets my whistle is because this book talks about Jack Parsons basically being just this super genius who was just blowing shit up in Pasadena and became friends with people who worked at, what's the school right there? Oh my God, I can't believe I'm forgetting it. But there's a very popular engineering school in Pasadena that is actually in that show. What's that show called? The comic book one with Sheldon.
Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang Theory. So the school that they are all like professors or whatever they're working out of, that's the school that people got
Caltech?
contracts. Caltech. Thank you very much. So Jack Parsons was friends with people and would blow up rockets with people who were professors at Caltech and research scientists at Caltech. And he was able to get a contract with the U.S. government to basically start testing different ways of creating rockets. And from those group of guys led to the creation of Jet Propulsion Laboratory. The thing about this book, which is fucking insane, and I don't think many people know about, is that Jack Parsons was like a straight up like not Anton LaVey. Who's the British dude? Kind of like
Crowley?
Aleister Crowley. So he was like friends with Aleister Crowley, and he was friends with L. Ron Hubbard, and he invited L. Ron Hubbard to some of the Crowley like seance sessions and shit that they would do, and they would like wear masks and they would pray to demons and all this stuff. And it is wild stuff, man. Like it is really wild stuff, and it's true. Like he did all this stuff. He was like an occult like magician, and he believes that conjuring those demons and talking to these interdimensional beings are what gave him all the knowledge to create the the stuff to create the rockets, and it's pretty out there.
Makes sense.
Well, it's up to debate, but he accidentally blew himself up in his own basement. That's how he died. So he blew himself up with his rockets, in his basement, unfortunately.
If you gotta go, I mean, that's the way to go.
He did he went doing what he loved.
I mean,
but yeah, so he was friends with L. Ron Hubbard, and the thing about L. Ron Hubbard is that L. Ron Hubbard basically copied like stuff from like the Necronomicon, stuff from all this occult literature that already existed. L. Ron Hubbard basically just took that and applied it to what is now Scientology. So he just ripped off all that stuff, which is now Scientology. But that's why that book that Robin is talking about, I'm like, dude, I got to read that. So I think that, what's his name? Tynion probably read this book or knows about all that stuff. And that is influencing, a lot of his stuff. So the reason we were talking about conspiracy theories, to bring it back around to Henry Cavill, Superman, tying it all together.
Cavill is an alien.
I want to see what you guys think on this. So I remember years ago, The Rock's ex-wife, who is his manager and who is also his business partner, got Cavill as her client, probably her most high-profile client. So she is Cavill's manager, The Rock's ex-wife. So they are under the banner of, I think it's called $7 Productions. And The Rock is co-owner, his ex-wife is co-owner. They have an agency, talent agency, which Cavill is one of them. So I'm like, oh, this is awesome. The Rock's he's going to be Black Adam. He's going to help keep Cavill in the DC universe. This is going to be great. And then Shazam came out, and they could have very easily used Cavill as a cameo. They, for whatever reason, chose not to. It's literally just a torso of Cavill's suit. So I'm okay, that's weird. And he was already under contract with The Rock at that point, or The Rock's ex-wife. I'm like, all right, well, that's weird. And then I started thinking, okay, I don't want to think this way, but I'm going to think this way. The Rock, if you guys are unfamiliar, he was recently in a couple of movies that are under the Fast and the Furious franchise. The Fast and the Furious franchise at some point was bought by, what's his name? Vin Diesel. Groot. So Vin Diesel owns like a majority percentage of the rights of the Fast and the Furious franchise, meaning that he is like the main producer of all those films. So when he had The Rock sign on, he's basically hiring The Rock to work under him. Now, The Rock is I think at this point is like the biggest grossing movie star right now. Like every year, he's like the most paid. He makes like 5 movies a year, and even though they're not that great, they make a lot of money. So The Rock has been continuously tweeting and posting he's going to be Black Adam, and he keeps saying the power of the DC universe is about to shift, or some shit like that, right? He's saying like the balance of power in the DC universe is about to change. He keeps saying that because I think what he's trying to do is he's trying to hype up Black Adam as this top tier character, and Black Adam is not really historically a top tier character. He's not even like a villain for Superman. He's just, he's a Black Adam villain that sometimes get used in different ways. So The Rock is very clearly trying to change that as far as cinematically. He's trying to establish himself as a big pillar in the DC universe. Probably like the biggest, because honestly, as Ben Affleck is no longer there, The Rock's probably going to be the biggest name, known in the DC universe. So I thought, this is great. He's going to help with Cavill being under his agency. He's going to help with Cavill coming into the movies. Then I started realizing, dude, what if The Rock doesn't like the fact that Ben Affleck or Cavill, because he doesn't want to be outshined. Very clearly, if you read some of the stuff that happened with the Fast and the Furious franchise, him and Vin Diesel bumped heads because Vin Diesel wants to be the star of that franchise. Vin Diesel wants to be the main guy. The Rock has always made sure to position himself as the dude, as the number one. So I started thinking, what if this is like a calculated effort to suppress anybody else from outshining The Rock in the DC universe? And all this stuff with Cavill not being able to kind of find a place is not necessarily nefarious as far as You're
saying The Rock is rock blocking Superman.
It doesn't matter if that's what he's saying.
Oh my God. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, if you think about Hollywood, it's cutthroat. No one is necessarily there to help each other out. Everyone is trying to be number one in some aspect.
I feel like they've been friends though, so I would hope that isn't the case.
That's what I thought so too. Like, I'm like, yeah, man, this is great. They're friendly. But then there was an interview where they asked him, like, hey, are we ever going to see Black Adam versus Superman, and will it be Cavill? And he straight up said, he's like, I promise you that you'll see Superman versus Black Adam. I don't know if it's going to be Cavill. It's like, what? He said that, and that's when it made me think, dude, why wouldn't you put out in the press, like, to gain momentum? I will do everything in my power that it is Henry Cavill, especially if he's under the banner agency that your ex-wife is under. That's when I started thinking, like, dude,
because he probably already knows, the Warner Brother heads have already talked to him.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, he's at least his wife, who's the agent of Cavill.
Cavill's already talked to him. Cavill,
yeah.
You would think that, they talk, they know.
Right.
And if he got pushed out of the Fast and Furious stuff, then maybe he just needs to make sure, okay, well, I got to make sure that this is my new thing then.
Oh my God, it's crazy. And that's why it's like, I'm starting to realize, fuck, man, maybe, whatever you might think of The Rock, but The Rock being in the DCEU is probably not for the best, at least for Cavill, because what if WB is going to throw money around, if WB is going to make room and make a budget for characters, The Rock's going to make sure that it's coming to him first. You know what I mean? He's going to make sure that he's number one, he's taken care of. And Cavill, from what there's other things out there saying that a while ago it said he didn't want to sign on to another Superman role unless he had final script say. So he had all these caveats where he needed to have final say in the script approval. He needed to have final say in maybe the suit. So I think there is, Grace Randolph, just like we just went over, she had also tweeted that she said it was both Warner Brothers' fault and Cavill's fault equally that he is not, going to be coming back because he made some demands that they're not willing to meet him at, which could be both financial as well as creative. But fucking A, man. What a bummer.
So what the root of what you're saying is that this is all Vin Diesel's fault. I am Fast and Furious.
Pretty much, yes.
You go back far enough, I think
he's an easy target too.
Man. I thought I had another picture in here. Let me see if I can find it. I had another picture in here of no, I didn't. I did, but
Careful,
I didn't.
Remember what you accidentally threw up last time.
Oh my God. If you want to go back and if anybody is interested in finding something, I don't even know if we kept that into the episode, but we were on with Kevin Altieri, and before we even started, do you remember that? I had my Zoom background as a BDSM chamber. I don't know why. I can't remember why my background was a BDSM chamber, but I remember I logged on to Zoom and Kevin Altieri, director of Batman the Animated Series, saw me with a background BDSM. There's like a sex bed behind me with like paddles and chains.
And what did he say? Like, that's an interesting room you're in or something? You're like the lawyer. I'm here live. I'm not a cat. I'm here live. I'm not a pervert.
Dude. Oh my God. I don't know. Yeah, that was... I wish I could remember why I had that set up. I'm sure it's because we were recording something and I thought it would be funny to have that on there.
No judgment. No
There
judgment.
it is. I found the pictures. Okay, I'm gonna put these up real quick while we're talking about Cavill. But are you guys gonna miss Cavill? Do you not give a shit? What are your thoughts on Cavill?
I liked him a lot, and I think it's silly to lose him at this point while he's at his most popular he's been. Like he has at the time he became Superman, that was the thing that I would say easily he was best known for.
Yeah.
But at this point, he's got The Witcher. He's done like Mission Impossible movies, and he's in the Sherlock Holmes thing with the girl from Stranger Things. He's all over the place now. Like, and I would say Witcher is probably the centerpiece outside of Superman. Is the centerpiece of what he does right now, and that's a big thing. It's not theater, it's Netflix, but it's still huge. Yeah. And it links to a giant video game franchise, so he's a household name at this point. And to let him go because you just aren't finding a place for his take on the character, I don't know.
Yeah, Gramps, your thoughts?
Yeah, it'd be a big loss. I mean, because just as much as like what you said when you saw Affleck in the suit and you thought this is Batman. I mean, seeing Henry Cavill in the suit, you're like, wow, this is Superman. This is, he wasn't your Christopher Reeves and Christopher Reeves is the GOAT, but for a modern Superman, I mean, he looked like a badass. And I enjoyed Man of Steel, and you guys know I'm not the biggest Superman fan, but I enjoyed that movie, even though it was a little different than previous Superman movies. Nothing wrong with that. Like you said, it was about Superman finding his way and his path, and but taking a step back, I mean, the thing is, Cavill. I could see why Cavill would want to have a say in the writing because, he's human. He reads the press. He sees all the publicity and he hears all the feedback and stuff like that. And with such an iconic character, how would you not want to have a little bit of input if you're portraying this character that is, an household icon and you want your public image and your product to be good. You want it to be, respected and have a very positive response instead of being so divisive. But, yeah, it would suck to lose him. I don't know who they could replace him with. I mean, I don't watch the TV series, but I hear good things about the guy that portrays the TV version.
Mm. Yeah, he was supposed to be. He was in the running for Batman at one point before they decided to go older. So if all that being said comes to fruition, as far as no more Affleck, no more, I think that I think we've all been expecting that Affleck wasn't going to come back for much longer. It was all a surprise to us that he was coming back for the Flash at all.
Well, so, I mean, it would suck to lose him, but I've got a strong jawline. I'm going to throw my hat in the ring. So
there you go.
Yeah, we lost him once before, so I feel like the impact is not as, it doesn't sting as much. But I mean, we're not gonna get to see these three. What a great looking trio! God, man, I don't think in our lifetime, I don't think we're gonna see a better looking Trinity, much less Justice League on screen. There's just aesthetically, I don't know if we'll ever get this ever again. And judging by what they're saying with the rumors, that we won't for a very long time, because the new Justice League is going to be completely different characters.
So, okay. And, everyone talks about, restore the Snyderverse, restore the Snyderverse. Now, with the news that came out, Gal Gadot is still going to be Superwoman. Or not Super. What am I talking about? Wonder Woman.
Old man brain.
Superwoman.
we all get it.
Louis Fart Brain.
Yeah. Wonder Woman. So, and Black Adam and Shazam and Aquaman and the Flash movie all tie into everything that Zack Snyder created. I mean, isn't that technically still Snyderverse?
That is the argument that the studio is putting forward.
Or is it just that, Zack Snyder's not directly involved with it? It can't be quote unquote Snyderverse.
Well,
that's sort of the problem with, because if they're not making a complete clean break, then what's the point of making any of these changes? Because if you want to visibly, clearly be something different, particularly in the minds of casual moviegoers, which make up the majority of moviegoers, you need to be completely separate and different. There are still people who think that the Snyder movies were a continuation of the Nolan movies. So how many people are going to know there's any difference if we move forward with this? There's no more Batman, there's no more Superman, but we still have everyone else from the Snyder stuff.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the studios only care about the box office numbers and the money. So they don't care about the consistency and the continuity as much as, if Gal's going to be back and make money, let's have her back. If Jason's going to be back and make money, let's have him back. And this, the Flash gives them the opportunity to see how this hits box office wise, if they want to keep it going. Gramps, the most difficult thing I'm assuming is that you're not going to get this guy back in any fashion as your Joker,
Darn.
Jared Leto.
Darn.
This photo that I have up right here, this is probably more appropriate than ever now with the crown of thorns, and that he has been sacrificed by the studio to make way for a new vision, and he is the sacrificial lamb, unfortunately. So our hearts go out to Jared Leto and the Joker and his hundreds of thousands of millions of fans.
His 10 fans.
I want to say he's probably the most celebrated Joker on screen. I might be wrong, but just based off of what
I think you do have to say he has the most fans of any Joker actor. Because what other Joker actor has also been a legitimate rock star outside of
you hear that, Gramps?
Legitimate. No, I've seen him in person. It was all illegitimate. I sang more than he did.
Oh man!
All he did was jump around on stage, wave his mic to the audience, and say "jump, jump," and let the band play. He sang nothing.
Was that his pink mohawk phase that you saw him at?
I don't know.
What was that, a festival, or was that a 30 Seconds to Mars show?
It was a 30 Seconds to Mars show.
That was a Gramps viewing of Justice League.
Man,
about halfway through, my wife and I were like, "You just want to leave because this sucks."
So is Joss Whedon's Justice League?
Well, that too.
Bringing it back around. So with all that blah blah blah, Snyderverse, this was over the weekend. What's today? Today's Saturday. So Friday. Yesterday morning, I think, is when this photo broke. Leslie Grace tweeted it, posted it. This is the first look at her Batgirl suit. Here is the full shot. And then here is the closer up. This is what she actually posted. It's a little bit more close up photo. If those who are listening audio, you can look up. This is all over the internet, but very mixed response to the suit, because they're definitely taking a certain specific direction with it. The thing that you guys tell me, what did you immediately think of? What were your reactions to first seeing this suit?
I think they did a great job pulling off the Batgirl Burnside, Babs Tar look. It looks perfect. Yeah, there we go.
Comic accurate.
Yeah.
Depending on which comic you want. Now, I'll be honest, I didn't read this version of Batgirl. I read the previous series. But this suit, like what you mentioned, was a redesign by Babs. What was her name?
Babs Tar.
Yeah.
Babs Tar, yeah.
Very talented artist. Is kind of a modern, what's the word I'm trying to use? Interpretation, basically, of Yvonne Craig from '66. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Kind of a, I wouldn't say military style, but just a modern take on that
like
suit.
A bombshell.
Yeah.
I think I'm right there with both of you guys. The one thing I noticed immediately, oh dude, that's totally Babs's suit. That's the Babs Tar, Cameron Stewart, Batgirl.
Even down to the boots.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw people specifically complaining about the boots. And my first thought was, okay, you don't read comics then.
Read a comic, you casual. Yeah. It's striking how much it is the Babs Tar suit. I mean, they look at it. If you go back and forth.
And that's cool, if people don't get it, don't know that it comes right from the comics. But if you don't know the comics, then maybe you shouldn't be online complaining about what they're doing with the look of a character if you aren't aware of the source material.
Yeah, I think
don't be out there harping on it because they nailed this.
Yeah, and I'm just like my opinion was like, my God, they finally did something right, because you guys know my opinion on the Patty Bat suit.
No, we don't. Tell us.
I don't like it. It was like, at least they got this right. It looks better as far as how the comic looks than the Patty Bat suit. Oh man.
You're gonna have me saying Patty Bat eventually,
dude. That's the new term, man. And it's stuck in my head. You know what? Yeah, I really. So the more I look at it, the more I like the suit.
So are we now calling the Pattinson Batmobile the Paddy Wagon?
Yes. Yes.
So sorry to cut you off there.
Yeah, I really like. So yeah, for sure, I see the Babstar suit, and then the way that the light reflects. I was like, oh man, that is totally Yvonne Craig. Yeah, the more I look at it, the more I like it. I do understand certain people's critique of the suit because it's supposed to be like a motorcycle jacket type suit. Right? Isn't that what the whole kind of concept is? Like a motorcycle jacket, motorcycle suit.
It says there, leather jacket, not spandex.
Yeah. Okay. So it's a motorcycle specific, like protective suit. Because that's kind of the history of the character. Is like one of the coolest things about the 66 show is that she had her own fucking motorcycle. It's like, damn.
Yeah.
So anyhow, the more I look at it, the more I like it. I also understand the critique because it is a motorcycle suit. So I think people are so depending upon where you lie, you either like the hyper realistic or you don't. And the people who don't like the hyper realistic don't like that it's like, oh, they're explaining the suit, you know, that it's a homemade whatever. People like there's other people that like the Batman Begins type suit, the Batman vs Superman type suit, where it's like an already established who the fuck made that thing's, you know, who makes that suit. It doesn't have to have any explanation behind it, but you know, it is what it is. This is what it's going to be. And I also think that I don't know about you guys, I don't think this is going to be like the final suit, you know, at least in her trilogy of films or whatever they decide to use. This is definitely like a year one type vibe. And my understanding of, if the rumors are correct, Keaton is going to be in the Batgirl movie as some form of mentor, and he's probably going to give her some upgrades for sure, I think. So that's something that we can kind of look forward to. So you guys excited for the Batgirl? I didn't care about Batgirl at first, and now that I'm hearing all this stuff about how it's going to be a jumping off point for a lot of the new DCEU, I'm at least interested to see what happens. What about you guys?
Yeah, I'm definitely interested. You know, like I skipped Birds of Prey, and was there a separate Harley Quinn movie, or there was the other not Justice League, the other Suicide Squad. That one I'll watch, but was there another one that I'm forgetting about?
No, there's Birds of Prey, which was technically the Harley Quinn movie, but it was a team up, and then there was the Suicide Squad, and then I don't even, have they even talked about making another solo Harley? I don't even know. I think that's it, because she was only in the original Suicide Squad. So she's only been Harley in 3 films, I believe. So far, yeah, it seems weird that like, wait, I thought there was
but yeah, anyway, yeah, like I haven't watched a couple of the recent ones. Is it Suicide Squad? I will. Birds of Prey still just didn't interest me, but this one for sure. I'm gonna check this out.
Yeah,
and you know, a big part of that is a big part of what didn't interest me for Birds of Prey was I didn't recognize any of those characters as the characters I know. This one, I immediately recognize this.
Right. Yeah.
I know not only who the characters, but I know what look like. Oh, that's the late New 52 Batgirl Burnside, Babstar, Cameron Stewart look that they're doing. I know exactly what they're doing. Cool.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So one more prayer of thanks for our Joker that we will no longer be seeing on screen, I don't think.
Thoughts and prayers.
Yeah. And then something that kind of came and went. People who are excited about the show definitely talked about it, but we got news that the Batman Caped Crusader animated series that is being produced by Bruce Timm, J.J. Abrams, and Matt Reeves, they hired Ed Brubaker as like the main head writer of the series. So if you know Ed Brubaker and if you are familiar with his work, he created the Winter Soldier character. That was his run on Captain America. So, you know, Captain America, Winter Soldier, that does not exist without Ed Brubaker. He did a lot of stuff before going on to a lot of
Gotham Central too.
A lot of Daredevil.
Oh, that's right. Yes,
Yeah,
Gotham Central.
was him.
which is a great story, a great couple of series. He had a run on that, and then he did a lot of indie stuff. So he did I read Criminal when it was like, I think, the first couple of trades. So he wrote Criminal, he wrote Incognito. He does a lot of like crime thriller noir type stories, and he's really good at it. And so that is, considering who he is, how he writes, I think this is an amazing choice to write a story for a Batman series that, by all accounts, is definitely leaning towards like noir, even more so than the old original series. It seems like this is going to be more like crime drama, influenced. What do you guys think about hearing about this news?
That's a good choice. Like you said, he fits the mold for that street level type hero. Like we threw out some names. He also did a very highly acclaimed run on Daredevil that really dealt with, the Kingpin and the gangs of New York and all that. And so no pun intended, but he's got really has his boots on the ground with that type of story writing. So if that's what they're going for in this series, they picked a good choice.
And look at Batman the Animated Series. Much of that written by Paul Dini, wrote a ton of comics. Bring in a guy who's written a ton of comics, do writing on this one. How can you go wrong?
That is
like, why don't they get these guys to write the movies? That's what I've always wondered. You got these guys that write the source material, write the movie.
Has anyone?
They had Jeff Johns in on stuff, but they keep making him want to not be there.
Don't you ever say that name in here ever again.
You canceled him?
Yeah. Man. Unfortunately, it seems that Jeff Johns was stripped of all that. I mean, except for the TV stuff. He's still like show running a bunch of the TV stuff. But I think Warner Brothers, that's what they do. They put if you're writing comics, they stick you on TV. They don't let you touch the movie stuff. And I don't know about Marvel.
No
I know
sense to me.
Marvel at least adapts or tries to adapt some of the stuff that comics writers wrote, like obviously the Winter Soldier stuff. And I mean, they do their own thing. They don't stick like too close to the source material at all. But I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe it's because the writing style is lends itself better to television because it is.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, writing sequential stuff, writing comics maybe translates better to writing episodic television.
Yeah, somebody in charge has a reason that they're really not being clear on, and we'd like to know.
Yeah,
so
contact us.
Yes,
like
please.
Jeff Loeb was running all the Marvel TV stuff for a long time.
Oh wow!
Like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and all that
Dude,
stuff.
I just started. So we had to get. We didn't have to. I got $150 gift card from Amazon for Christmas from somebody, and I'm like, what the fuck am I going to use this from Amazon? Like, I want to use one nice thing. What can I get? And I just got like one of those tablets. What is it? It was the Amazon one. It's like an Amazon Fire or some shit like that.
The Pyramid. Unleash the power of the Pyramid.
So, anyways, I'm like, okay. And then, by the way, this is not a plug. We are not endorsed by Prime, but if you are an Amazon Prime member, yes, exactly. Contact us, please. Amazon, Jeff Bezos, please. Oh my God. If you are an Amazon Prime member, you get Comixology Unlimited for free, apparently. And so I was like, all right, check out what they got on there. And they have all of the Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale Marvel stuff, like Spider-Man, what is it? Spider-Man Blue, Hulk
Daredevil
Gray.
Yellow.
Yeah, that stuff's on there. So I downloaded and started rereading the Spider-Man story by Tim Sale and Jeff Loeb. God damn, that shit looks awesome. Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale, winning combination. You cannot go wrong. And yeah, man, such great stuff. Great comic book writing by Jeff Loeb. Great art by Tim Sale. And the Marvel stuff by them, like, I gotta recommend it highly. If you have not ventured out into those books that they did together or still doing together, they did a Captain America one a couple of years ago.
Yeah, Captain America White. You'll notice the color theme.
Yeah, highly recommend. If you have Comixology, And also about Comixology, funny that Robin, we were talking off air about the fact that if you guys are unaware of it, you want to know, like, oh, how do you guys get all these guests on, these amazing guests? We actually have a carousel of nudes that Robin, we took them very tastefully, but they are nudes that we commissioned for him to take, that he sends out to all the creators. And that's how even if it's not something that they like or that they appreciate, it gets their attention. And
you can tell the ones who like them the most because they're on the show the most. They're looking at you, Sean Murphy.
Exactly. Anyhow, so Scott Snyder has a bunch of books that are Comixology exclusives. I checked some of those out. God damn, they are good. The book that he does with Francesco Francavilla, it's called, my God, I'm forgetting the name of it. It's a horror book.
Is that We Have Demons?
No, that's with
Capullo.
Capullo. The one he does with Francesco is like a Universal Monsters like homage. And holy shit, that book is so cool. If you like Universal Monsters, if you like monster movies, old monster movies, and the lore that goes with it, it's such a good book. Another one, god damn, Jeff Lemire did a book with Jacques called Snow Angels. Yeah. Holy shit. If you haven't read that book, it's only, I think, like 12 issues, maybe a little bit less. And it's self-contained. It's like, it's only that run. They haven't talked. I don't know if they've talked about doing another run on it, but god damn, that story's so cool. And the art is amazing and very unique. Like it's creator owned stuff that's not based on any superheroes or anything like that.
And Night of the Ghoul is the one with Francesco.
Highly recommend if you have not read that. If you guys have Amazon Prime and download Comixology, that's all the Comixology. Every Comixology exclusive that I've read has been really freaking cool. And then I think what they do is, at least with We've Got Demons, that's coming out now in physical format. So the first issue I think is coming out in the next couple of months. That answers the question, at least for that one. I'm not sure if all of them are eventually going to be physical release, but
yeah, a lot of them are planning that. It sounds like I know Donnie Cates has some digital stuff that he's doing that is coming out physical copies as well.
Yeah, is it Stephanie Phillips is she doing Harley right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so she has a book on there. I forget the name of it as well, but it's like 1940s New York, like cops, like drunken cops beating up and finding their way, solving the mystery. Very Untouchables, Kevin Costner, Sean Connery-esque, very, very Untouchables, like crime kind of book. That's an awesome one that she's writing. Just good stuff, man. Like good indie books that I was very surprised to have fallen into by accident. But yeah, so if you guys need something aside from superheroes to check out, and you got an Amazon Prime,
and if you like the work of particularly authors, if you like the way they write the characters that from the big companies, like if you like the way a guy writes Batman or Spider-Man, you've always enjoyed his work on the big two, so to still call them. Wait until you see what they do when they're playing in their own sandbox and they're telling their own stories and can do whatever they want. Like stuff James Tynion does in Department of Truth, Nice House on the Lake, Something's Killing the Children. They're all these guys, when they're doing their own stuff, you can really see why they got the jobs that they have with writing the marquee characters.
Yeah, and we've said it before, but I think that the indie stuff that Tynion does, if you like his Batman, in our opinion, the indie stuff he does is better than that.
Oh yeah.
Like just top-notch writing. Same with Williamson. He's writing Batman right now, but if you haven't checked out his indie stuff, like you got to check out his indie stuff. I always forget that Murphy wrote Punk Rock Jesus and how massive that book was. Because he has become such a big like presence like with Batman that I forget that he wrote that book. And I went back and flipped through it recently. I'm like, God damn, this book was crazy.
And there's Joe the Barbarian he did with Grant Morrison.
Oh man, a lot of good shit out there. So yeah, we wanted to end with something positive. that Brubaker hopping onto the Cape Crusader series. That's going to be awesome. That show is going to be awesome. The comic stuff, unfortunately, the DCEU. It sounds like we're going to take our picks of what we kind of fall into. I know Gramps, you're very excited about Hawkman coming out in the Black Adam movie. Shazam, I know, is coming out with a sequel. Gal Gadot is going to be in the third Wonder Woman film. That I think the only thing we've heard from that is what's her name accidentally leaked it on DC Fandom. Linda Carter did not know she was not allowed to say that the third movie was coming, and she just fucking said it, which is kind of funny.
I hope she's in it.
I think she had a cameo in one of them. I think I can't remember. Long story short, I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to spend probably a lot more time with comics and some of these shows than I would have with getting frustrated about the movie stuff, because I think we'll let the movie stuff settle in and figure itself out. The Batman's still coming out. And that's another rumor that I saw too, by the way, by the same individual. Again, we're putting a lot of weight on that rumor. It's still just rumors. Might not happen. However, she stated that something that she's hearing is that the Batman universe by Matt Reeves, that's going to be the next expansion for the Trinity. So there's going to be a Superman eventually in that universe, apparently. I don't know how the fuck they're going to do that. And they're probably going to put more weight with the expansion of the universe in that area. And then the DC Extended Universe stuff will be a lot more just kind of individually based movies with characters just kind of having their own adventures. Every once in a while, you'll see people maybe pop in and out as cameos, but it's not going to be like team movies the way Marvel does it. And dude, I'm sick of DC trying to like, I don't know, man. I fucking hate no, I shouldn't say DC. Warner Brothers, man. I don't know. That's the issue. It's not DC. It's not the filmmakers so much as it is the overarching, the ownership that, they have an agenda. They got to make money. So they don't really care about what the fans want. They just they want your money. They want you to buy the ticket really at the end. So.
Yeah, and that's what it comes down to. Like, that's how they run not only the movies, but the comics too. Like, there are comics that haven't happened because the people above haven't seen the value in it until it was too late. Like, there are things that I can't specifically say publicly, but that the people who make the decisions didn't greenlight something until they saw the success of another thing and then said, oh yeah, well, you guys want to go ahead and do this? Well, too late. We've moved on to do something else.
Yeah,
so that's how they run all of the branches of it.
Someone did share that this was like during the summer, I want to say, of last year. That Snyder is, and again, this is old news, but I did see again that he's open to continuing on the Snyderverse in graphic novel format. If like DC would ever be interested in that, he's like down for that. Which fucking hey, man, like that would be amazing. So
even on just like one of the streaming networks, that'd be great.
Yeah, that's if they're willing to put more money into him, though. And from what he says, they have not talked to him or reached out to him at all for anything new. So
that's stupid, because how much did he make for them just with that Snyderverse Justice League?
Dude, they don't want you to know, and that's the thing. They don't want you to know because he made them a lot of money. Them a lot of money, and they don't want you to know that because they want to pretend like, oh, we just gave you, this is for you, and that was a little treat for the fans. And we're gonna, dude, fuck, like you made millions off.
Pay no attention to how fat our pockets are.
Seriously, and all these rumors are a good indication of that. Like they knew back then that they were just gonna let him. You know what? Hey, this is a great opportunity to make more money on something that we already did, and still continue to do our thing and not worry about the fallout and just lie to the fans and whatever. But whatever, man. We're trying to be as positive as we can be. We'll cover more comics. We'll cover more shows because that's kind of the direction where it sounds like is still awesome. So and
And
hopefully
there's so
when
much going on in comics right now. You know,
Yeah.
even if you haven't been keeping up with, you know, long running storylines and things, there's so much. Like Black Label is so accessible for people just jumping into things like Jock's Batman One Dark Knight, Cliff Chang's Catwoman Lonely City. We're 2 months away from the next chapter of Sean Murphy's White Knight universe,
Wow, that's
Batman
just 2
Beyond
months?
Gotham. Yeah.
March, holy shit.
Yeah, end of March.
Wow.
So expect to see / hear Sean back on the show for that. And yeah, there are tons of things in comics, and there's so much stuff beyond superheroes too. Like we keep beating the drum of stuff like Department of Truth, but there's so much good stuff to read out there.
Yeah. All right, guys. Any parting words? Anything else?
Goodbye.
Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Check us out. We will be back with some more. Arrivederci.
Hold on. Let's bring this back to bring in the new year. Where the fuck is the Trunkler?
Ah! That's how we're going to sign off from now on. Very good question. All right, guys.